Have you ever thought about what it's like to live in a place where the air reeks, the streets are in chaos, and sanitation feels like a distant dream? Believe it or not, some people call these areas home and manage to make it work. Let's explore the 7 most chaotic and resilient spots in Asia. Places that might make you glance at your clogged bathroom and say, at least it's not that bad. Welcome to Fledgling Eagle, where we uncover the world's harshest realities. Khlong Toei, Bangkok, Thailand. We'll start with Khlong Toei, one of the most well-known and overcrowded slums in Bangkok. It's a place of stark contrasts. One moment you're walking through the lively, bustling streets of Thailand's capital, surrounded by opulent shopping centers, towering skyscrapers, and luxury hotels. The next moment, you step across the street into an entirely different world, a labyrinth of tight alleys filled with makeshift wooden huts, tin roofs, and uneven roads, alive with people and constant activity. But what's most striking is the smell. The air is heavy with the odor of open sewers, street food, and discarded waste. Khlong Toei lacks a proper sewage system. Wastewater flows freely down the streets, turning them into murky channels of stagnant water. These makeshift drains often carry a mix of trash, chemicals, and other waste materials, giving the area a more unsanitary, experimental vibe than a place where people live. Hey there, where are you watching from? We'd love to know which city you're in. Please drop a comment so we don't feel alone. A simple gesture like this encourages us to make even more videos. Thanks and much love to you. Despite these harsh conditions, the community exhibits incredible resilience. Children play in the tight alleys, using anything they can find as makeshift soccer balls or toys. They appear completely indifferent to the chaos surrounding them, playing with the same energy and joy as if they were in a professional soccer league. It's a powerful reminder of how people can adapt and thrive in the harshest of environments. Then there are the markets. The streets are lined with vendors selling everything from fresh meat and fish to vegetables, clothing, and electronics. The heat in Khlong Toei can be unbearable, often reaching a scorching 104 degrees Fahrenheit. But the markets remain bustling. Flies swarm around the meat, and the humid air adds intensity to the experience. But for the locals, it's just another aspect of daily life. Even with all the challenges, the sense of community and survival is tangible in every corner of Khlong Toei, making it a place that is both tough and full of life. Kampung Muka, Jakarta, Indonesia. If you think Jakarta is chaotic, just wait until you step into Kampung Muka. This area takes the chaos up a notch. The streets are so narrow that if you stretch your arms out, you'll be brushing against the walls on both sides. Motorcycles rush past just inches away, their engines roaring, adding to the constant noise of this overcrowded neighborhood. The houses in Kampung Muka are stacked tightly together like a giant Lego structure. And the decoration? The growing piles of trash scattered everywhere give it that gritty, lived-in, almost nostalgic vibe. But the real issue lies beneath, the absence of a proper sewage system. The water flowing through the streets is a murky, stagnant waste stream you wouldn't want to step into. It's the kind of water that reflects the grime of the city, making the already challenging conditions even harder to endure. For the people living here, it's a daily reality they've had to adjust to. The traffic situation in Kampung Muka is a different level of madness. Picture a race with no rules, Motorbikes, cars, and pedestrians weaving in and out in a frenzy, each trying to reach their destination while narrowly avoiding collisions. It's a scramble for space, with everyone moving as fast as they can, often disregarding any traffic laws. As if that weren't enough, rats the size of cats scurry across the streets, adding to the surreal, almost post-apocalyptic feel of the area. The air in Kampung Muka is thick and heavy with pollution, so much so that it feels like you could almost chew it as you breathe. Yet, despite these overwhelming obstacles, what's truly remarkable about Kampung Muka is the spirit of its residents. They face unimaginable hardships, yet there's a sense of optimism that's hard to describe. Children play barefoot in the alleys, running around as if they're in a playground, completely oblivious to the surrounding dirt and trash. The adults work together to manage the regular flooding, using buckets and whatever tools they have to scoop out the rainwater and try to prevent it from flooding their homes. Kampung Muka may lack comfort, sanitation, and basic services, but it has one thing in abundance: resilience. The people here have learned to survive and adapt to their harsh environment. Their motto could easily be summed up in one phrase: we make do no matter what. It's a testament to the strength and determination of people who refuse to let their circumstances define them. Despite everything, life continues, and the community endures, proving that even in the toughest situations, hope and resilience can shine through. All right. If you're new to this channel, Fledgling Eagle warmly welcomes you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to catch our upcoming content. Five. Korail, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Korail is Dhaka's largest slum, offering a stark view of life without any real infrastructure. Over 100,000 people call this densely packed area home, where even something as basic as clean water seems like an impossible luxury. The homes are makeshift, often built from rusty metal sheets, plastic tarps, scrap wood, and whatever else the residents can find. There are no construction regulations or building codes, just a collection of improvised shelters crammed together in a maze of narrow alleys. The streets of Korail are a labyrinth of garbage heaps, stagnant water, and makeshift paths weaving between homes. Depending on where you stand, the standing water either mirrors the polluted sky or simply adds to the already toxic air. It's a place where sanitation is nearly forgotten, and the streets themselves are part of the fight for survival. But despite the overwhelming adversity, the true heart of Korail lies in its people. What's remarkable about this place is the spirit of the community. There's an optimism and resilience here that's hard to articulate but impossible to overlook. Children, lacking proper toys, make use of whatever they can find. A pot lid becomes a treasured toy, and a broken chair transforms into the seat for an impromptu game. The sounds of laughter and the sight of kids running barefoot through the alleys are part of the daily rhythm of life here. The adults of Korail share the same resilience. After long, exhausting shifts in factories, markets, or as day laborers, many walk home to Korail, their faces weary but their steps unwavering. They might not have access to hygiene or basic comforts, but they possess something far more powerful: grit. They live knowing that life here is tough, but they make do. The motto of Korail could be summed up in one simple phrase: we make it work. Despite the lack of basic resources, the crushing poverty, and the constant struggle for survival, the people of Korail continue to push forward. They've found ways to cope with their circumstances and find joy in the little things. Their resilience is a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the most dire situations, people can survive, adapt, and keep going. It's a place where life continues and the community endures despite the odds. Four, Machar Colony, Karachi, Pakistan. Located in the heart of Karachi, Machar Colony is home to approximately 700,000 people, making it one of the city's most densely populated and impoverished neighborhoods. The area, positioned near heavy industrial zones, is overwhelmed by a chaotic mix of pollution, decay, and neglect. Garbage piles up on the streets, and the air is thick with the harsh, pungent smell of chemicals from nearby factories. Frequent flooding due to a lack of proper sewage infrastructure results in dirty water flowing through the streets, and without proper drainage, raw sewage and industrial waste pollute the environment, creating unsanitary and hazardous conditions. Despite these challenging circumstances, the residents of Machar Colony have found ways to survive. Many work in the local fishing industry, often processing fish in makeshift homes or along the shoreline, where the air is heavy with the stench of decaying fish and pollutants. Access to clean water and sanitation is virtually non-existent, but the community makes do with what little it has. Beyond fishing, a significant portion of the population works as manual laborers, street vendors, or in small factories, all while enduring the daily struggles of extreme poverty. Hygiene is minimal, with many families sharing cramped, dilapidated homes made from scrap materials. But the sense of solidarity within the community remains strong. The people of Machar Colony show remarkable spirit. Despite the overwhelming challenges they face, they support each other, sharing resources and helping one another navigate the harsh realities of daily life. The resilience of the community is deeply rooted. Despite the suffering that surrounds them, many find joy in their work and in the relationships they have with each other. Children play in the streets, and even in such polluted conditions, their eyes still reflect a sense of hope. They've learned to adapt and create small moments of happiness amid hardship. Surviving is not just a slogan. It reflects the ingenuity and determination of people who, despite everything, manage to make the best of their situation. They continually adjust to the toxic environment, often lacking basic necessities, but their drive to survive never wavers. The residents of Machar Colony demonstrate daily that the human spirit and community can withstand even the harshest circumstances. Three, Dharavi, Mumbai, India. Dharavi, often dubbed the Times Square of slums, truly lives up to its reputation. Situated in just 2.17 square kilometers, it is one of the most densely populated areas in the world, housing over 1 million people. The streets are so narrow that extending your arms would likely mean touching at least 3 people. In this crowded space, every inch of land is utilized, and even the simplest tasks feel like navigating a maze of alleyways, bustling markets, and tiny homes stacked one on top of another. However, Dharavi isn't just about chaos and overcrowding. It's also a thriving economic hub. Despite the harsh living conditions, it boasts a network of small factories and businesses. Leather, ceramics, textiles, and plastic recycling industries operate at full tilt here, generating more than $1 billion in revenue each year. The scale of production is staggering, and even more remarkable is the fact that much of this wealth is generated in the informal sector, largely beyond the reach of traditional government regulation. While many cities struggle to balance their budgets, Dharavi quietly produces more economic output than many countries combined. Nevertheless, the industrious nature of Dharavi comes with its own set of challenges. Basic sanitation is virtually non-existent. Open sewers line the streets, and garbage piles up in every corner. Wastewater from factories mixes with street runoff, creating a toxic environment that most residents have learned to live with. Yet, despite these daunting conditions, the people of Dharavi continue to make it work. What truly stands out about Dharavi is the resilience and adaptability of its people. Despite the lack of proper infrastructure, overcrowding, and pollution, the residents have built an impressive, self-sustaining community. From children to adults, everyone plays a role in maintaining the delicate balance of daily life. Children play in the narrow alleys, women run small businesses from their homes, and men work in the factories or street markets. The resilience of Dharavi's residents is truly awe-inspiring, and their ability to adapt to the harsh realities of life here speaks volumes about the strength of the human spirit. In a place where survival is a daily struggle, the people of Dharavi continue to innovate, adapt, and endure, qualities that even Charles Darwin might recognize as a form of urban evolution. Two, Orangi Town, Karachi, Pakistan. Orangi Town holds the title of Asia's largest slum, with an astonishing 1.8 million people crammed into a small part of Karachi. However, what sets Orangi Town apart isn't just its population. It's the residents' remarkable determination to take control of their situation. Frustrated by government inaction and feeling overlooked, the people of Orangi Town did something extraordinary. They built their own sewage system. Yes, they devised their own plans, gathered materials, and installed a working sewage system, all without any official help. Their rallying cry was clear: let's do it ourselves. This self-reliant approach to infrastructure has made Orangi Town a global example of community-driven innovation. It's a place where initiative and collaboration have turned adversity into opportunity. Although the sewage system isn't flawless, it has dramatically improved health and sanitation for many. And this is just one of the countless examples of the ingenuity that defines the area. However, life in Orangi Town isn't without its challenges. Waste management is nearly non-existent. Trash is discarded anywhere it can fit, on the streets, in vacant lots, and alongside buildings, creating a perpetual battle with pollution. The nearby factories contribute a toxic cocktail of chemicals and pollutants, making breathing difficult for many residents. Despite these challenges, Orangi Town is far from hopeless. The streets are bustling with life. Street vendors offer everything from food to clothing. Children run through the alleys and there's a palpable energy in the air. The community has an undeniable spirit of resilience. Despite the chaos and makeshift nature of their surroundings, the people of Orangi somehow manage to make it work. Life here is a constant effort to adapt, innovate, and push forward, no matter the obstacles. It may be chaotic, overcrowded, and far from ideal, but Orangi Town is a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit. In a place where resources are scarce and infrastructure is minimal, the people of Orangi have found ways not only to survive but to thrive. Despite the pollution, waste, and overcrowding, there's an undeniable energy that propels the community forward, step by step. On Kowloon Walled City, Hong Kong. The Kowloon Walled City, which was demolished in 1994, once stood as a shocking example of urban disarray and extreme overcrowding. This enclave was a remarkable demonstration of human resilience under harsh living conditions. Before its demolition, Kowloon housed more than 50,000 residents within a mere 2.6 hectares, smaller than many typical city blocks, making it the most densely packed area on Earth. Buildings were crammed so tightly together that the entire place resembled an enormous, fragmented apartment complex. Narrow pathways, stairways, and alleyways connected various levels in seemingly random ways, forming a vertical labyrinth that had little organization or clarity. As for ventilation, the residents had to make do. Windows were often obstructed, leaving the air stifling with humidity, fumes, and a constant feeling of discomfort. The lack of a proper sewage system meant waste flowed freely through the streets, or crude makeshift pipes, creating a nightmarish level of filth. This extreme lack of sanitation was something the residents had to simply endure. But Kowloon wasn't only a chaotic settlement. It also became a hotbed for illicit activities and underground businesses. Hidden dental offices, unlicensed noodle shops, and illegal gambling rings operated clandestinely, flourishing in the shadows. It was a place where the law was disregarded, and survival often meant ignoring any sense of order or legality. Authorities were either powerless or unwilling to take action, allowing the city to persist in this lawless existence for decades. Despite the abysmal living conditions, Kowloon was home to families who carried on as if their surroundings were just another part of life. Children played in the cramped alleyways, small shops and vendors conducted business in the shadows, and residents managed to raise families and build tight-knit communities. Though the environment was extreme, life in Kowloon continued, and for many, it became a familiar, almost normal existence. When the decision to demolish the walled city was made in the early 1990s, it left behind a complex legacy that continues to intrigue and shock the world. Kowloon demonstrated that, even in the absence of rules, chaos does not necessarily result in collapse. Instead, it can morph into a distorted form of self-reliance and survival. The walled city was an isolated world where people made the best of their circumstances, thriving in the face of disorder. Within that disarray, there was something almost inventive about how people adapted and found ways to endure. After witnessing the extreme living conditions in some of Asia's most chaotic slums, Can you still bring yourself to complain about slow Wi-Fi or stale bread? These people live amidst filth, yet they find ways to smile and laugh. Chaos breeds resilience, while we often lament the smallest inconveniences. The next time you feel the urge to complain, remember these stories. At least you're not dodging rats the size of cats every day. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with that friend who thinks their struggles are insurmountable because they ran out of almond milk. And stay tuned for the next video. Until then.